Hello everyone, my name is Samira Leos and welcome to my presentation for my art research project. To begin with, we're going to look at a little table of contents that I created so that I could give you guys a little overview for the entire presentation. For number one, we have the main topic, where we're going to discuss the main idea of this presentation and the overall theme. For number two, we have the artist, where we're going to talk about their life, belief, influences, and style. Then for number three, we have the section where we're going to discuss and analyze the work of art. And lastly, for number four, we have the resources I used, and a special thank you for having the time to sit there and look at my presentation. And so let's begin. Number one, the main topic. What is art? A question that has been debated by people over the years in the history of mankind. It is typically viewed as an activity done by somebody with an aesthetic purpose, something that expresses an idea, an emotion, or a worldview. It also comes hand in hand with culture and has been used multiple times to create revolutionary changes. Art also causes many emotions in people. For instance, three people might look at the same piece of work and get three completely different emotions out of it. One might experience sadness, while the other anger, and the other one joy. It just depends on the kind of person you are and the perspective at which you look things from. There are many types of art. For example, literature, which includes poetry, drama, and stories. Visual, which includes painting, drawing, and sculpture. There's also graphic, which involves design and other forms expressed on flat surface. And lastly, performing, which includes theater, dance, and music. I also added this little statement by Edward Hopper, which states, "If I could say it in words, there would be no reason to paint." I thought this little statement, with barely any words, can perfectly captivate the whole idea of what art does for some people. And off to topic two we go. Who is the artist? Vincent van Gogh was a Dutch post-impressionist painter who became one of the most famous and influential figures in Western history. Every 36 hours, he would usually start a new piece of work. He had around 860 oil paintings and 2,100 artworks. He was born in the Netherlands on March 30, 1853, and died somewhere near Paris on July 29, 1890. Now here are some interesting facts about him. He started painting at the age of 27. He was extremely busy during his time as an artist. Most of his life is documented through the letters he wrote. He suffered from manic depression and psychotic episodes. He attempted many other careers before declaring himself an artist. He cut off his own ear and committed suicide in the 1890s. On the other hand, the portrait of Dr. Gachet is the most expensive portrait and one of Van Gogh's most well-known, as it holds the title of being one of the most expensive paintings ever sold at an auction, with its price being an $82.5 million. Now for section 3, we're going to look at a piece of art, which is called the Starry Night. Now here's a picture of the famous painting and a little quote from Vincent van Gogh which states, "The emotions are sometimes so strong that I work without knowing it. The strokes just come like speech." It was done in 1889 and it is an oil canvas painting that portrays the view from his room in Paris, just before sunrise with the addition of an imaginary village. While the painting took place at night, just like many of the artworks made by Vincent van Gogh, it was done in multiple sessions during the day and under completely different environments. In 1886, Van Gogh moved to Paris, where he encountered the works of Impressionists and New Impressionists. Inspired by this artist's style and liberal use of paint, Van Gogh developed his new style and called it Post-Impressionism. Such style consisted of works made by artists unified by their interests in expressing their emotional and psychological responses to the world through bold colors and expressing often symbolic images. On the other hand, The Starry Night is based on Van Gogh's observations, imagination, memories, and emotions. To go see this painting, you can go to the Museum of Modern Art in New York City, which acquired this world-famous painting in 1941 and is still there until this day. And finally, off to the last slide we go, which is the fourth one, and it talks about the resources and a little thank you that I put in there for having the time to look at my presentation. Now here are my resources, and as you can see, one of them is a link. The other two are written in MLA format because I wanted to mix and put like one in one, but I ended up using 3 resources, so I had to put them all at the end. Now we have finally reached the end of this presentation, and I think I've said it like 500 times before, but thank you so much for sitting there and bearing with me as I went over those 20 slides for this presentation. It is finally over, and I'm really, really thankful to you guys, and I hope you enjoyed this presentation as much as I did, and I certainly hope you guys have a nice day too.